It's talk time with little scholars every Saturday. Come hear the scholars. We learn, we laugh, and we share our minds from peace building to technology, education, current affairs, and social life. Find us on YouTube, Upperboards, and SoundCloud. We have got big ideas just waiting for you. With voices young and stories bold, together we shine, together we grow. It's talk time with little scholars. This is a project of Excellence Foundation for South Sudan. Let's build a world where young minds flow.
Teachers from different schools, students at large. We are all seated here today. We all know what stress is. But I would like to ask you, do you know the power of stress? Many of us like asking our friends, our neighbors, why are you situated as if you're stressed? Or why do you look as if you're stressed? Well, one is stressed because when we answer them these questions, they don't really answer. The reason that they don't answer these questions is because they feel it's as if they don't have anyone to turn to. Sometimes they build walls against themselves and say that, no, I can't turn to them because they don't have a shoulder to lean on. My dear judges, audience, I want us to say that, ask your friend, are they stressed? Because sometimes it's kind of important. I know some of you who don't know how someone is stressed, or you don't notice how someone is stressed is. You'll be like, how? Or how do you know someone is stressed? Well, let me tell you a story. A story of a girl called Lily. Lily was a girl that lived with both her parents. And when she lived with them, she was really happy. When she reached the age of 15, her parents died. She remained alone, a teenager. She had to work to provide for her own food, something that would go in the mouth, and could also work so that she could go for school. School was all that she first thought of. She thought if she could finish school, she would have a better future. But things were hard on her. She had to live a life that when she struggles, she's young. Life used to give her blows there and then. She used to blame herself and ask herself, why? Why me? Lily started to work again in the streets to see if she can try more. But still, life was still hard on her. She started feeling stressed. Later on, she felt depressed. Then she started feeling as if she has anxiety because the world was not fair to her. She says, why me? I want you to sit down and look at your neighbor. Tell them that you are not alone. Because sometimes these people who are vulnerable within us, like Lily, think that we don't care. I want you to sit and look at yourself and ask yourself, how many lights have I lit? How many dark rooms have I lit with my light to lead these people like Lily who are in the dark? Lily is someone who was very vulnerable because she was young, she didn't know anything. Her life treated her very badly. When I asked other people what happened to Lily, they told me she ran mad because she started making friends in the streets, started taking drugs, which made her run mad or crazy, if I may call it. I want you to look here. The society that we live in, sometimes we know that mental illness is something, but we ignore it. We don't know that stress also is part of mental illness, because the impact that you have is something big. If you see here, first you feel stressed. Second, you feel as if you're dropping. Or sometimes you might even have anxiety when you don't even feel it yourself. You see that you're driving yourself. Sometimes when you walk on the road, you'll be like talking to yourself. Even someone else when look at you will be like, hey, that person is mine. As we are all seated here today, I want you to look at your friend and tell them that you are not alone. Because once we be friends with these people, we talk to them, you will know something is good. I want us to look at each other and say that we are the friends that these people need, the therapists that these people need, the rehabilitation center that these people can turn to, the psychiatrists that these people need. I want you to look at them, because eradicating stress and the power of stress in this country is the beginning of a new nation. I want you to look at yourself and look at your friend and say it all begins with you and me. Thank you.
Thank you, the moderator of today's function, for giving me this opportunity. I feel honored and dignified. I would like to recognize the presence of the staff of Excellence Foundation South Sudan, the invited guests, the head teacher of the whole school, the deputy, director of studies, all the teaching staff, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today I would like to address this pervasive issue of raping, its consequences and what we can do to combat this grave injustice. Raping is forcing someone to have sex with against his or her will. So, as I stand to address this deeply troubling and disturbing issue, which is raping, it undermines the fabric of our society and has a profound, long-lasting effects on the victims. It is really a heart-wrenching reality for many women, men, and children in our society. We have witnessed this case a month ago in Juba, where a 16-year-old girl was sexually assaulted by 7 boys. So, such crime demands our attention and action. Ladies and gentlemen, how does it affect the victims? Let's dive into it. First, it affects the victims in their physical form. The victim may sustain injuries resulting from the forces applied on the victim. This ranges from minor and severe injuries. Secondly, the victim may be at a high risk of getting sexually transmitted infections such as HIV, syphilis, and etc., which damage the future of the victim. Not only that, but also there will be unwanted pregnancies that may occur as a result of sexual violence, later resulting to giving birth to bastard kids as well as having chronic pains on the victim. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we must also understand that the effects will not only remain in their physical form, but it will also affect the victim emotionally and psychologically. The question that may arise is, how does it affect them in such a way? Some of the ways it affects them emotionally includes depression, where an individual feels hopeless and saddened all the time. That is to say, the individual will experience clinical depression. Secondly, post-traumatic stress disorder that a victim may develop, including flashbacks, nightmares, and severe anxiety. Just think of that venerable girl of Gumba Sherikat. My dear listeners, as we are here today, it is very important to recognize that addressing the issue of rape and sexual violence requires a multifaceted approach. We must all be advocates to foster a culture that condemns violence, advocates for justice, and empowers survivors. This includes, first, we must educate our communities about the consequences of sexual violence. Awareness campaigns can help challenge harmful stereotypes and beliefs that perpetuate this violence. Secondly, it is imperative that our legal system holds perpetrators accountable, that ensures justice for victims. This involves strengthening laws related to sexual violence and creating safe reporting mechanisms. Third, survivors of rape need access to comprehensive support services, including medical care, psychological counseling, and legal assistance. Building a network of support for survivors can help them regain their strength and voice. Furthermore, we must engage men and boys as allies in this fight against sexual violence. Changing societal attitudes requires everyone to stand up and speak against such atrocities. Last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, addressing root causes of conflict is essential. Lasting peace can only be achieved when we all confront the systemic issues that allow violence, especially gender-based violence, to flourish. To conclude, let us remember that struggling against rape and sexual violence in South Sudan is a collective responsibility. We must all be advocates for change, standing in solidarity with survivors and committing to creating a society where dignity, respect, and safety are afforded to all. Together we can transform the narrative of violence into one healing, resilience, and hope for justice, liberty, and prosperity. Thank you.
You have been listening to Talk Time with Little Scholars, where young minds speak loud and proud. Catch us every Saturday on YouTube, Upperboards, and SoundCloud, brought to you by the Excellence Foundation for South Sudan, giving children a voice, one episode at a time.